Let's be real. Artificial intelligence is everywhere right now. The market is absolutely on fire. But you've got to wonder, with all this incredible growth, is it actually real? Or are we maybe living inside a massive $3 trillion bubble that's just waiting to pop? Well, let's follow the money and see if we can figure this out.
I mean, just to get a sense of the scale here, look at a company like Nvidia. They're making the chips that are the backbone of this whole AI revolution, and their stock has just gone vertical. We're talking a tenfold increase. This isn't just normal growth, it's a full-blown gold rush. Investors are euphoric. But, and this is a huge but, here's where things start to get a little weird. A recent report from MIT just dropped a bomb. It claims that a mind-blowing 95% of AI projects are making zero money. So on one side, you have stocks shooting to the moon. And on the other, you have a report saying that almost none of these projects are actually profitable. So how can both of those things possibly be true? And that right there is the central mystery we're going to try to unpack. If 95% of these companies aren't turning a profit, where is all this investment money actually coming from? And where's it going? Well, the answer, according to our source, might be found in this kind of strange and frankly a little concerning financial loop. They're calling it the circular money machine. Now I know that sounds complex, but stick with me because the idea is surprisingly simple. It's basically a mechanism that can create this illusion of a booming industry, even if there's very little actual new value being created. The whole thing is built on this concept of circular financing. Okay, picture this. A huge tech corporation invests a few $1,000,000 into a hot new AI startup. But then, and this is the key part, that startup immediately turns around and spends a huge chunk of that very same money to buy, you guessed it, the tech giant's own products, like their cloud services or their specialized chips. Let's just walk through that loop one more time. Step 1, the big tech company invests in the startup. Step 2, the startup uses that cash to buy services from the investor. Step 3, that spending then gets recorded on the big company's books as new revenue. You see what happened? The money literally just went in a circle. It left the tech giant's bank account and came right back, only now it's labeled as revenue. No real outside customer was ever involved. So if this whole pattern of massive investment in infrastructure that doesn't have a clear path to profit sounds familiar, well, it should, because we have definitely seen this movie before. Just think back to the dot-com bubble in 2000. Companies were spending billions and billions building out fiber optic networks, way more than anyone actually needed. The argument today is that we're seeing the exact same thing just with AI. Instead of fiber optics, it's a massive build-out of cloud servers and AI chips for all these projects that, well, as we just saw, aren't profitable yet. The parallels are kind of spooky, aren't they? Right down to that big question mark at the end. Okay, so if this really is a bubble, the big question is, how close are we to it popping? Well, according to some very, very influential voices in the world of finance, we might be getting closer than you think. Take the legendary investor Ray Dalio. He didn't just give a vague warning. No, he put an actual number on it. He believes the AI bubble is 80% full. Think about that for a second. This is a guy who has spent his entire career studying market cycles, and he's basically saying the pressure is almost maxed out. We're getting into a very dangerous phase. And you can see what he means right here. Yeah, there's that little 20% slice left, maybe a little more room for things to run, but the vast majority of the pressure, that 80%, has already built up. So the question really shifts from if a correction is coming to just when. So, with that pretty serious warning in mind, what's the takeaway? What are you supposed to do? Well, the strategy laid out in our source material is pretty much the exact opposite of what everyone else seems to be doing. It's not about jumping on the bandwagon, it's all about playing the long game. The strategy itself is pretty simple, but it takes some real discipline. First, stop chasing the rally. Just don't do it. Second, be patient. Wait for that correction, or crash, to happen when all the hype finally dies down. And then, number 3, and this is the most important part, once the dust settles, that's your moment to find and invest in the companies that have real, sustainable businesses. The ones that are going to be the actual survivors. And that really leaves us with the final critical question. Every bubble, from the dot-com era to today, creates spectacular failures, but it also creates generational winners. The 2000 crash gave us famous flameouts like Pets.com, but it also gave us Amazon. So the real trillion-dollar question isn't just if a crash is coming, It's when it does, who's going to be the next Amazon and who's going to be the next Pets.com.